Hey guys, what is up? It is Dan Lags, and welcome back to a brand new Let's Build. That's right, guys. I am out here in the middle of nowhere. Actually, we are on a brand new seed today to start a brand new Let's Build. So, I just finished up my real-life house Let's Build, and I'm going to be getting the final tour of that out to you guys very soon. Just have to find some time to finish it up. And today, I am going to be starting a brand new Let's Build, like I said. So, back in the day, way back in the day, I asked you guys what you were interested in seeing for new Let's Builds, and the #1 vote that the straw poll got was a Cliffside modern house. So I was thinking, yeah, I definitely want to do that. I kind of have an idea in my head of what I want to do. Need a little bit of time to kind of just develop an idea and find a seed. More importantly, it took forever for me to find a seed. I've been looking for a really good seed for like the last week at least, and it's tough because the seed I have in mind is kind of like a sloping seed. Let me go ahead and set the time while I'm saying all this stuff. Like some sort of like sloping hill that goes down into water. I totally like forgot how to do this kind of stuff. How do I do that? I don't even think I have host options on. That probably makes sense. I'll do that real quick. Alrighty, folks. Back to what I was saying before the weather got in the way and the daylight, but that's all fixed now. I was looking for a seed that kind of sloped down into the water, kind of like a gradual hill. This is something that, is relatively, what I had in mind. And then kind of just like some flat space behind it where I could like build the actual part of the house. So my plan is I'm going to build some sort of like Southern California style modern house, like something you would see from like Iron Man, Tony Stark kind of thing. A lot of white, a lot of stone. We'll probably do an infinity pool, some balconies that look over the water, all that kind of stuff. We're going to add that in, and that's going to be kind of the plan for this Let's Build. So I'm just going to do some small terraforming things at the beginning. I'm also going to talk about the seed. I still am not set in stone on this seed. I did look through a bunch of subscriber suggested seeds. They were all really solid seeds for what I asked. I kind of asked for like a cliffside thing, and then once I kind of thought about it more, I realized that I need some more of like a slope than a cliff. I was thinking about doing the Skyrim mashup pack. That was something that was suggested, and I decided to ultimately go with this seed, which is a subscriber suggested seed after all. This is kind of like a little weird thing. I'm going to have to come back and terraform this all later on just to make it look like it's not really strange. But this is a subscriber suggested seed, which is a tongue twister to all sin. And I'm going to put the number in the description. I'm pretty sure I'm like really far away from the spawn, so I'll probably put the coordinates at some point as well. Check out a map. But before anything else, let's just kind of get started with the build. So first thing I'm going to do is break this tree, and I'm just going to start off with like an initial balcony. I'm going to start from the back of the build and then work to the front. That's kind of how I'm going to do this. So the part that you see hanging off the side of the hill here is going to be the back, and that's kind of like the main focus and the focal point of this build. So let me just terraform a little bit more here, and we'll get started. So yeah, like I said, a subscriber suggested seed. I'll put the link in the description. But also, I'm not like 100% sold on this seed. So if you guys know a seed, or like a particular area of a certain seed, maybe a seed that you work on, that is like has a really nice sloping hill with a flat surface on top that kind of leads down into water. If you know any seeds that kind of have that kind of area to it, like that kind of environment, please let me know so I can check it out, because obviously this is the pilot episode of this brand new series, so everything is up to change at this point. We are not committed to anything on this particular build, so that's the great part about starting Let's Builds is I can just start off, and if something is completely garbage after 1 or 2 episodes, I can completely redo it, just like I did on the Victorian Mansion Let's Build. So yeah, this was the #1 voted thing that you guys were interested in seeing, so I'm bringing it to you guys today. And I'm just going to start by just doing some basic stuff, just not too long of a video today, just kind of coming up with some basic concepts, maybe doing a little bit of like schematic work and things like that. Also, another thing I would also like to mention is texture packs. So I'm using the default for today's episode 1. However, I am absolutely not, and what I'm trying to say, absolutely not bounded, whatever you want to say, to one texture pack. So if you guys want me to use a different texture pack, then feel free to write that in the comments as well. Obviously, the thing about Xbox Minecraft is, I at least in my opinion, I don't really think there's one particular texture pack that is really suited for modern building. That's just my personal preference. I think the default's probably the best just because of the color of the quartz and the stained clay, but to be honest, Even the default's not super great. Like, there's no Flows HD or Soartex on Xbox. That's just perfect for modern builds. The city texture pack's alright. The natural texture pack's alright. So I'd probably choose between those three, default, city, and natural. So I'll either stick with this one, move to the city, or use the natural texture pack. So you guys can let me know what your opinions on that are. I'm curious to find out what you guys are thinking about as well. So don't feel free to write that in the comments as well. And today, like I said, I'm just gonna get started with some basic stuff. Not really sure what I'm building right now. Just getting started with some sort of little balcony thing here. And like I said, this is going to be some sort of, Southern California, Malibu style modern house. That's basically what I'm going for. I kind of have like a little bit of a concept in my head that I think could potentially look pretty awesome. So let's try to, capitalize on this particular idea that I have. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and grab some black stained glass panes. I'm going to run these across here just as kind of like a railing for the balcony so no one falls off into the ocean and gets eaten by a shark. So that would probably be the worst case scenario, but still, we got to be careful. All right, so we'll start off with something like that. We have this really long balcony just to start, and it's kind of like a two-leveled balcony, as you can see. So I'm going to have it run across right through here. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I think I'm going to have an infinity pool on this level, and then there'll be like some glass here. That you can kind of look into it. I see that a lot on modern builds, especially like other people doing modern builds for Minecraft. A lot of people do infinity pools with these kind of modern houses that hang off cliffs from what I've seen. So I'll try to do something like that on this particular Let's Build and see how that turns out. So I'll probably get that started today as well as some other things just to kind of, get a basis of what I'm thinking. All right, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some... I'm thinking either light blue or cyan. I'm going to go light blue to start, but who knows what it'll turn out to look like. And of course, if I do decide to switch to the city texture pack, there's a good chance that I'll switch out all this quartz to a different block. And that's what's great about deciding after the first episode, because I am not particularly set on one block. So, obviously if I need to switch, I can, because there's not a whole lot done yet. So if it was an entire house finished and I decide, oh, nope, don't like this block, I don't have world edit to just, quickly change everything. So that's going to be one of the things we have to keep in mind. Right here, what I'm doing is I'm actually going to start this infinity pool. So here's my thought on this. I'm going to do just like a long rectangular shaped pool that kind of just runs down through here. I'm not really sure how far this will go yet. It'll probably just be like a judgment call, because I would like to have some sort of like walkway on this side of the balcony here. So obviously all this space here, and this is going to require quite a bit of terraforming on this build. It's pretty much the polar opposite of what we did for the Victorian Mansion Let's Build a few weeks ago. Pretty much the polar opposite, because we are doing a lot of terraforming as opposed to that world, which was pretty much a super flat, not a whole lot of stuff. Just did some landscaping, that was about it. So this is going to be kind of like a mixed Let's Build. It's going to be a little bit of terraforming, a little bit of building, just trying to shape the environment and create something around it. And that's what's always really challenging and fun about Minecraft is, taking an environment, completely transforming it into your vision. So that's always fun. And this Let's Build is also going to be pretty different from the last one we did. Obviously, my real life house Let's Build, since that was kind of just a copy paste job. This is going to be something totally different, because obviously I'm going to need to come up with my own ideas for this. Obviously, I can't just copy my own house, so it's going to be similar to the Victorian Mansion Let's Build in that particular regard, in terms of me just trying to create something that's cool and original, and trying my best to come up with some cool new stuff for inspiration, because that's what I do for these Let's Builds, guys. They're inspiration for you guys to learn how to build stuff and kind of develop your own ideas just based off some of the stuff that I build, and that's the whole goal of this. So we're starting off with a crap load of quartz. This is just an absurd amount of quartz, but it'll probably die down later on once we kind of get a initial idea figured out. So I was thinking about doing something like this on Los Dangeles, because we still have a few more hills open. I just didn't think I would be able to build something this big, because you know how it works. I always say that I'm going to build something small, and then it ends up becoming gigantic. So that's the typical Dan way of doing things. So obviously the Victorian Mansion Let's Build, that didn't start off as a mansion, started off as a house. And who knows, maybe this will end up being a modern mansion, although I don't even think those exist. Like, is a modern mansion a thing? Like, everyone always recommends that I build a modern mansion. And yet, like, I don't even think modern mansions are a thing. Like, other than, like, Tony Stark's house. Like, you don't really see those very often. So, at least not where I live. Alright, so I'm going to take this up, and this is going to be kind of like the back wall for this pool here, and then I'm going to fill it in with some water. So the glass kind of running around here, this light blue stained glass, this is going to be the infinity part. So you kind of see the water as you're walking by. I honestly think infinity pools are like the coolest thing in the world. Never swam in one personally, but I would love to do that one day. That would be pretty sweet. They're pretty darn awesome. I don't even know if this classifies as an infinity pool, actually. I think this is just a pool with like kind of like a glass wall, so maybe I recant that statement. But the infinity pools are the ones that kind of like run off the edge and look like, if you're looking at it from like a certain angle, it looks like it's just kind of like blazing the edge of the horizon, I guess you could say. But that's like relatively like what I'm looking for. So let me back up and take a sneak peek at this. That's pretty solid. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of just, start to work on some shapes, just fill some things in, just fiddle around. So I'm going to grab some snow. And again, this is another one of those things that might be specific to the default, so we'll have to see what happens if we decide to switch the texture pack. So let's go like 1, 2, 3, and then we'll do another 8, and then 2, and then another 8 and 1, and then a full block, and then 7. I'm just kind of going all the way down here. Just kind of create this little thing. See how this looks. Just a little sloping design. Let's see how that looks from a distance. I like it. Just a little sloping design. Nothing too fancy. I like that. So obviously this part here is going to continue, and because we have the pool now, we can decide if we want to trim this balcony. But I do want to spend a few minutes on this video before we conclude for the first episode, the pilot episode of this series. All those experimental television shows have a pilot. The old motto for me is even Breaking Bad had a pilot episode, so that was a show that was not guaranteed to be renewed. So you never know what'll happen here. This could be my best build ever, or this could be a flop. So that's the kind of the message that I have for you guys. So next thing I want to do is just using classic modern shape building. I'm going to take this particular design and kind of run it up and through, because that's one of the classic tips you can take for modern builds. You kind of have to run shapes through other shapes. It kind of just like a big old geometry puzzle, pretty much. Alright, so that's going to start off like that, and then I think I'm going to take like another roof here, and this is going to be more or less kind of a sitting area, I think. I'll start off with that. Let me kind of just knock that off, and I'll probably put like a glass something here, and then there'll be kind of just like a sitting area off the edge, so this will kind of run through here and like this. And then I'll probably end up either expanding that stone out that way further so I have more space, or doing something else here, because right here I don't want to block off that doorway, so maybe I'll just do that. I'll have like a door there, and then obviously it'll connect to the pool as well, and this will run all the way across like this with some quartz, not with some stone. We'll have this go down, and I'm gonna try to do like a bunch of different levels for this, obviously because it's on a slope. Bunch of different levels, so this will kind of run all the way down through here. What else can we do? So I think I'm gonna have like an opening here. We'll make like a big glass wall, and what I would like to do is kind of have like this whole area under here just pretty much open and not even a part of the house, and just like a bunch of like sitting areas that you can lounge and look over the sea, because that's kind of like the whole point of this build, is to create something that is looking over the ocean. So this is going to go up here, and this is going to run across, and here's going to be kind of like our first window, more or less. So this will go down, and this is 4 blocks tall here. So let's just say I expand this out, and I know it's floating right now, but that will change soon, I promise. I'm just going to start off by creating some balconies. So this could actually, if we do stick to this texture pack, which you guys got to let me know if you guys want me to switch. Maybe I'll do another straw poll because I love those, but you guys got to let me know, because that is going to be an important part of this build, deciding what we want to do with it. So whether we want to stick to the default texture pack, which I have done 2 of my last 3 Let's Builds in the default, so maybe I'll go with the natural texture pack, completely switch it up, because I am kind of focusing on like a nature scene. Like this is going to be half terraforming, half building, so maybe the natural texture pack would be a good fit as well. So I'm going to have this go down here with some of this. It's going down with some glass panes. We'll have this turn right here. This will look pretty good. Let me take a quick peek. Alright, so decent start, decent start. Probably going to have some quartz like run through here as well, just so it's kind of just framing this window a little bit. Something like that. And then I'll probably have that expand out 1 extra block here, so it's not like right along the edge. So it'll come together. Obviously, we can't create anything finalized in the first episode. That's just not possible. Not enough time on our hands. All right, so let's see. We got a floating window there, which might look weird, but I assure you, I'm going to connect it to the ground with some pillars. So, for example, this is kind of like a preliminary thing. I'll have like these pillars that are going to hold this up throughout the whole build. So I'll just take this to the ground. And then, of course, this here is going to kind of continue. And who knows if this will even be quartz. I'm just going to start off with some quartz, though. Because I don't want to spam too much quartz, even though this is going to be kind of like a modern build. So there's going to be a lot of white materials. But I don't want to spam a ton of quartz. That'll all be like flattened out, and they'll basically just be kind of like a house above everything. And this is like the house is going to be up there, and then this is going to be kind of like the recreational area. So that's a plan, at least a preliminary idea. So let's see what else we can do before we conclude today. I'll extend this out, and there's a good chance I'll have like a staircase that goes up right here. So let me just kind of put something in real quick, if I can get these slabs to place properly. So there'll be a good chance that a staircase will go up right there, and that'll turn, and it'll be something like that, right? And that'll connect up to that space on both sides. And I think we'll go from there. So let me just see what I want to do. Like, I think I ultimately want to connect this here, but I also kind of want like a glass wall, kind of like a curving glass wall that's like right up against the pool. So maybe here, and then this will go down and turn this way. So yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty good stopping point for the first episode. Just getting some initial thoughts, ideas planned out. Yeah, and then I'll probably have a wall here so that won't connect directly across. But we're going to use a lot of black stained glass for this episode, for this particular Let's Build. So we have something crazy to start off with. It looks just like a jumbled mess right now, but I assure you guys, it's going to come together. We need to choose a texture pack. We need to decide if this is going to be the seed we're going to work with, and that will be kind of what we'll figure out for next episode. So thank you guys very much for watching episode 1 of what I'm going to be calling a Cliffside modern house. So it's kind of that Southern California style. Hopefully it comes together pretty good. I like what I have so far, but it definitely needs a lot of work. So thank you guys for watching the first episode. It's been Dangeles. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And I will see you guys on episode 2 in a few days after your feedback has been gone through and stuff like that. So thanks for watching, guys. It's been Dangeles. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.